Okay, so lesson 4 is about sketching, analyzing, and writing equations. So you'll be given a graph and you need to write an equation from it, or a graph will be given and you need to, an equation will be given and you need to plot the graph. Now, you can do that using a graphing calculator, but it's handy to just know how you would graph it on your own. Okay, so let's just summarize what vertex form was. So the A donated. What did the A say? A was for stretch, right? If it's becoming narrower or increasing. So if A is greater than 1 or A is less than -1, it's narrower. Graph by the factor of A. If it's between 0 and 1 or between -1 or 0, it is wider by the factor of A. And if A is less than 0, there's a vertical reflection across x-axis. What did P denote? Horizontal translation. So if it's going right or left, P is greater than 0. Horizontal translation, right by P units. And if so, like an example would be x minus P, what your function would look like. If P is less than 0, there is a horizontal translation again, left this time by P units. So an equation could look like x plus P squared, because less than 0 will be negative. Negative times negative is positive. What was Q for? Vertical translation. So Q is greater than 0. So we have a vertical translation up by Q units. So you'll have a plus Q. If Q is less than 0, you'll have a vertical translation down by Q units. So Q will be negative Q. Okay. All good? Okay. And what was the vertex? If you look at this equation, can we figure out the vertex?
Wouldn't it be P and Q?
P comma Q. Awesome. So the coordinates of the vertex will be P comma Q. The equation of the line of symmetry is when x is equal to p. Remember, if this is what our graph is, and this is our vertex, right? It'll be p comma q, and at the vertex there is a line of symmetry. This is not good. Let me just read off parabola. Okay, that's better. This is our vertex, so our line of symmetry is here. Because it is parallel to our y-axis, x will be equal to p. And our max and minimum y value is just our q. Y is equal to q will be our max or min y value. If you're looking at max or min x value, that would be p is equal to x. Okay? Questions? It's just a review from last class. Okay. So let's sketch this function ourselves. We need to figure out our a, p, and q value. The function is 2 times x plus 1 whole squared minus 3. So what will our a be? 2. Yeah, because that's a. That means there is a vertical stretch by 2. Let's look at our p value. Our p will be, it'll be -1, because negative times -1 is p here. That means we have a horizontal translation. Left or right? Left by 1 unit. Awesome. Now we have q. Q is -3. That means that we have a vertical translation down by 3 units. Awesome. Okay, so our vertex will be -1 comma -3, because p comma q is our vertex. Direction of it opening, so is it going up or is it going down? How do we figure that out? Usually our parabolas are like this, but if there is a negative, then it'll go down, right? So because there is no negative over here, will it be going up or will it be going down? It'll go up. So this is the usual, and if you have a negative a, then it'll be going down. Okay, equation of the axis of symmetry. So we just did that. X is equal to our p value, which is -1, and our maximum or minimum y value. We have a minimum because it's going up, right? This would be our minimum. And our y value will be our q value, so y will be equal to -3. Okay, now let's try figuring out our intercepts using algebra. So y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So we'll just put that in the equation. So we have f of x is equal to 2 times 0 plus 1 squared minus 3, which is just y is equal to 2 times 1 squared is 1 minus 3. Y is equal to 2 minus 3, which is -1. Right, so it'll be 0 comma -1 as one of our points. Looking at our x-intercept is when y is equal to 0, so put it in the equation. 0 is equal to 2 times x plus 1 whole square minus 3. Add 3 on both sides. We get 3 is equal to 2x plus 1 whole square. Divide both sides by 2. We have 3 over 2 is equal to x plus 1 whole squared. Square root both sides. Square and square root cancels, and we have plus minus root 3 over 2 is equal to x plus 1. I'm just gonna go up from here, subtract 1 on both sides, and we have plus minus root 3 over 2 minus 1 is equal to x. put that in your calculator and you should get 0.2 comma negative 2.2 as your x values. So we have two x-intercepts. Now, most of the students here forget to do plus and minus. We talked about this when we did geometric series. Whenever you do square root, it's plus and minus, because if you look at negative 2 whole squared, that's positive 4. 2 squared is positive 4 as well. So we have both negative and positive. Okay, so our values would be 0.2 comma 0 and negative 2 comma 0.2 comma 0. So those are our coordinates. Okay, let's try plotting that. So we have 0 comma 0.2 somewhere over here, and then negative 2 comma 0.2 over here, and then 0 comma negative 1 over here. So this is what our graph is looking like, our intercepts are looking like. Now our vertex is negative 1 comma negative 3, so it's negative 1 comma negative 3 over here, and that's all that's given to us. So now we just need to connect the dots. And that's what our graph will look like. Okay, what is our domain here? All the possible x values. X such that x ER, because if you look at your x, it's just gonna keep going and going and going, right? So it'll cover all your x in x-axis. Looking at our range, y such that everything more than and equal to. So we have y greater than equal to negative 3, y ER. Okay, because it stops over here, so we have everything but anything below negative 3. This is kind of a cheat sheet given for how to figure out the x-intercept in vertex form. Isolate the squared term, so just like how we did, keeping the squared term alone and then square rooting both sides. When you do square root, there's positive and negative, so there will be two possible solutions. Okay, questions? Okay, let's look at a question in which we are writing an equation when a graph is given to us. Okay, so looking at the graph, what can I figure out just by looking at it? Vertex, which is awesome, negative 2 comma negative 3. What else can I figure out? The intercept. So I have a intercept over here, which is 0 comma negative 1. I have another intercept, x-intercepts over here as well. So when I'm looking at my vertex form, I know that this vertex is equal to it's equal to P and Q, so I can put that in the equation. So y is equal to a x minus 2 whole squared minus 3. So I have a x plus 2, because negative times negative is positive, and that's what I have. But I still don't know what my a will be. So to figure out a, I have a point 0 comma negative 1 given to me. So I'll be using that as my x comma y and finding my a value. So let's put that in there. Negative 1 is equal to a 0 plus 2 squared minus 3. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So we have 4a minus 3 is equal to negative 1. add 3 on both sides. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2, and that will give us half. Right, 1 and half. So it'll be a is equal to half.